Hello. Got some tools that provide some data resources that are useful for neighborhood crime monitoring that I found from Arlington Police Department. I just wanted to show how to use those. So let's look for Arlington Police Department. And you want the site that starts with arlingtontext.gov. So here it is on Google search. Once you get to Arlington's Police Department government page, you want to go down here and find active calls and offenders and then current 911 calls. This page I would bookmark so you don't have to do all the stuff I just did every time you want to look at this. Plus it's a good jumping off point for all the other things I wanted to show. This is police response to 911 calls, and you'll notice they're all pretty close to the time I'm doing this and the same date. So this is just strictly what's happening right now. It's you don't get any history here. When a call is been responded to, it disappears from the list, and you can't find stuff that's happened in the past here. This is what's going on right now. They're sorted by priority, E for emergency, and then you got your priority ones and on down. Sometimes there's a lot of these, and what I do is a couple of ways to filter this. First cut is usually go to District E for East, because we're in East Arlington. Here's what's going on in East Arlington. You can also get closer by focusing on beat. Our beat is beat 450. Looks like there was a disturbance, loud music, 2300 Stampede Drive there. We can look at the map and see exactly where that is. And that's where that is. And where am I? Let me zoom out a little. It's 3 minutes from home, wherever home is. Ah, there's home. There's the loud music. No wonder I can't hear it. It's a little bit away. Also from there you can get pictures of the property and things like that. Like I said, another way is just I can go to beat if I know it's right around our police beat. Go to 450, and of course that's the only one I see here. Active traffic calls in the next tab. Usually not really interesting. This one might be a hit and run accident. That's pretty serious, but a lot of times it's just people getting stopped for not having 2 license plates. Sex offender search. I've had trouble with this if I just put in a street name, but I've been able to get pretty good luck with it when I pick a zip code. So I'm going to pick our zip code here. You have to put in a code that you see in this picture box to prove you're not a robot, because they don't want people data scraping off their site. Map would be nice, but when I've tried it, it hasn't really shown me all the sex offenders on a nice map like I expect, so I do the perform search instead. Now at the top you're going to get people are looking for actively right now, but the actual search results for what you searched on, which in our case was the zip code, that's all down here. They tag new ones. There's whether they consider it a low, medium, high risk, or I'm not sure what it means when they say NA, not applicable. I don't know if that's they don't know how risky or it's not risky. But just kind of, there's a lot of these here. There's what, 85 right now, because the zip code is a lot bigger than just our neighborhood. So we might want to filter this. In a browser you can do Control F and look for a street name. So let's see who's on Skylark for sex offenders. Looks like we've got 2 of them. You can click on names here and get when were they born and when did the offense occur. And you do get a little automatic map here when you do this. A lot of the only ones I've looked at have been really, really old, like more than 20 years ago. Let's see, let's check on Reaver. Whoops, let's spell it right. Just one, no picture, another old one, but it tells you what it was, and like I said, you can see what the risk level is. This is one of the NAs. The Skylarks were high risk, I think. But, that might be useful if you're worried about that sort of thing. Let's see who's in jail. On this tab, you get a section like this with nothing to click on because they put all the information right in front of you. There's one for each of the 65 inmates in custody right now, and this is also pretty much up to the minute. For each person, you've got where they were arrested and name, time, and all of the charges that they have against them, as well as their bond. There's a disposition column. All I've ever seen in there is TS, which I think probably means time served. I don't know that that means they've already been let out or not, but I've also seen a few cases made me believe that, yeah, these type things here, copious profaning, I think that means they chose incarceration instead of paying a fine, and that's why it's disposition is time served. Anyway, well, thought for a minute maybe I was in jail, but no. I'm still out. Public search report, temporarily unavailable. It has been every time I checked it. If the temporary unavailability ever resolves, I'm not sure what we might find here. This one is a lot more data. It's a little less current, but this downloads a spreadsheet for you to your computer. Let's do that. This gets updated periodically. Let's open this spreadsheet. If you don't have Excel, you can probably open it with OpenOffice, or if you use Google Sheets, there's free ways to do that too. You don't have to buy $200 worth of Microsoft. It's not corrupted. It just doesn't strictly meet all of Microsoft's standards for Excel. So you can click on that. And I also enable editing because I can't sort and filter and do fun things with this if I don't enable editing. But there's no virus in it. I mean, it's coming from the police department, so get real, Microsoft. Now, what I usually do immediately when I get a downloaded spreadsheet like this is I don't like when all of these column titles go away, because then I can't tell what I'm looking at. So I go to View and Freeze Panes and Freeze Top Row, and that way I can scroll around. Let's look at what's here first before I turn on filters. Call report, from date and time, and to date and time. It's got a column for beat. I see a lot of the beats are empty, but some of them are further down or populated. There's a lot of data here. If we go all the way to the bottom here, interruption. There are, I think, about 80,000 rows in this data. Yeah, 7,389. We need to filter this. So let's see if we can find out something we're a little more interested in. We could filter. Oh, I gotta turn on the filters. Beat, except we would miss all these empty ones here, but beat might be a good thing to filter on. Or let's try that. We know we want 450 because that's our beat. might want to turn the blanks on, might not. In this case, let's just see what's exactly for sure in our bead. And now we're down to 137 out of the 7388. Still a lot to look at. Let's do another filter here. Location. Let's do a text filter and say I want to see rows where it contains Skylark or contains Weaver. Now we've only got 9 out of 7388. So this is a year's worth of data. If you look over here on the right, it's from November 11th, 2015, a year ago, to November 9th, 2016, which 4 days ago. So it's not right up to the minute like the other things we've been looking at, but it's pretty close. Plus you've got an entire year's worth to look back on. Looks like I've got a bunch of 2016 stuff here. And we got quite a few for Skylark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a couple of Reavers, which are real close to each other. 3 Reavers. And 2 of them look like they're just about next door, and they're both vehicle burglaries, so that's kind of a trend that's sort of suspicious, and they're close together in time. Before October 27. One at night, one in the afternoon. So it's kind of useful, I think, to just look for trends and see what's going on nearby.